Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's live session on daily current affairs with Sathya sir. This is me, Sathya from IQ Ideas. I bring you important current affairs news updates from a daily newspaper and interesting articles which you can read to improve your reading comprehension abilities. I also point out certain interesting words of vocabulary to enhance your language skills. So, without further ado, let's jump into today's newspaper. The first couple of pages are full of ads. So I don't know whether it's a cold news day or what. But anyway, I had to flip through quite a few pages to reach. And the first news page, even before the main headlines page, is the global one, where the biggest headline is Trump threatens Canada with 35% tariff. So obviously a lot of tariff issues are going on, and US President Donald Trump is talking about imposing a lot of tariffs on various countries. And even yesterday we saw on how he claims to be reaching an agreement with India, whereas Indians have explicitly made the statement that we will be prioritizing the national interests before deadlines. So, in an update to the Trump saga, now Canada is being threatened with 35% tariff, and the byline reads plans to impose blanket tariff of 15 to or 20% on most other trading partners. Okay. In yet another statement made by President Trump, Trump has said that US is selling weapons to NATO allies to give to Kiev. So by Kiev, he means, of course, Ukraine. So the president has said that the US is selling weapons to its NATO allies in Europe so that they in turn can provide them to Ukraine as it struggles to fend off recent escalations in Russia's drone and missile attacks. Okay, so NATO is the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. The organization, the conglomeration or the group of countries which are together for security purposes. Another small headline says is a statement by Israel. So Israel claims Iran could still reach the enriched uranium at nuclear site hit by the US. So this is obviously a reference to the US bombing of nuclear sites in the ongoing conflict between Iran and Israel. And now Israel is claiming that Iran will still be able to get its deeply buried stocks of enriched uranium, although this has been hit by the US military. Okay, a lot of other news of individual news from around the world. We move on to the actual front page. Okay, uh, the top line is X CGIs on ONOE bill. Can ECs have unbridled power? So a couple of interesting things. ONOE is the one nation, one election. Right now, all the elections, whether it is at national level, state level, or panchayat levels, are not coordinated on the calendar. They happen in a very staggered way. So the plans are, of course, to conduct all the elections at various levels together so as to save a lot of time and resources. So the ex-chief justices have said, can the election commission have unbridled power? So what is meant by the word unbridled? Well, unbridled refers to something which has no control on it, unlimited sort of. So here it says that even as they express the view that the bill on simultaneous elections passes muster with basic structure of the constitution, former CGI of India, J.S. Kehar and D.Y. Chandrachud, questioned the legislation's entrusting of unbridled powers to the election commission and raised questions about other aspects of the legislation. So obviously, law aspirants should definitely be reading up this article with great amount of interest because it will give you a lot of updates. Uh, Other than that, then one is sweeping rate cuts on table at next GST Council meet, and it says lower slabs likely for some consumer goods and insurance. So the goods and services tax, which was imposed on the country, has various tax slabs, something which uh, students interested in business and finance should definitely be aware about. So there are a lot of rate cuts which are expected to be discussed about and maybe implemented during the next meeting of the council. Okay. Other than that, no major news. The next page is city page, where there is a update related to the talks going on because of the bridge disaster in Vadodara. But no, this is not related to that, but flyovers. It's a simple question of why city flyovers cost more than planned. Okay, just a question on the cost of infrastructure development. The next city page, uh, nothing seems to be very major as far as current affairs updates are concerned. The next city page, 168% rise in GUEEDC foreign education loan beneficiaries. Gujarat Unreserved Educational and Economical Development Corporation, established to assist students from unreserved categories, have so far disbursed loans worth rupees 2,182 crores to 14,993 students pursuing higher education abroad. Okay, that's just an interesting update, but nothing to remember. The city page, from the city page, we move on to the state page. Just an update on the, now this is an update on the tragedy, the Mahi River bridge collapse tragedy. Uh, Nothing of national importance. Moving ahead to the nation news. Show one picture of damage on Indian side. Doval dares foreign media. Okay, so National Security Advisor Ajit Doval challenged the foreign press to show even one image of damage on the Indian side during Operation Sindoor. Great. Speaking at the 62nd convocation of IIT Madras, and that's my alma mater. So, speaking at the 62nd convocation of IIT Madras, Doval said India chose 9 targets across Pakistan and hit all of them, missing none. The operation took 23 minutes, starting at 1:05 a.m. and ending at 1:28 a.m. on May 8. Okay. Some foreign press said Pakistan did this and that. The New York Times put out images and wrote things. You tell me one photo, one image which shows any damage to any Indian structure, even a glass pane being broken. Okay, so that would be a statement which would be consumed with great interest by nationalists. Okay, moving on to the next nation page. The big headline is just backing Pakistan sans mention of India does not threaten sovereignty, says the High Court. Okay. The Allahabad High Court has observed that merely expressing support for Pakistan without referencing any specific incident or mentioning India does not prima facie constitute an offence under Section 152, Act Endangering Sovereignty or Unity and Integrity of India, of the Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita. Great. So during the times of conflict between the two nations, obviously there come many social media memes and posts and videos of people being aggressive towards people who show support to the other country. Okay. But the High Court apparently has observed that if you mention Pakistan but do not mention anything about India, and you don't say any mere support of the other country, may not necessarily invoke charges against you. Well, but still, I would very strongly recommend that don't make any unnecessary statements, right? Reserve your opinions for private consumption. Don't unnecessarily put them out in public, right? Always good to be nationalist, but don't be hyper nationalist. Okay. The next nation page is all political news, but nothing of major importance. So is the next nation page. Okay. There is a big feature page saying a divine satirist. Okay. Bashir's irreverent humor, spiritual depth, and unwavering humanist vision remain strikingly relevant, offering a luminous counterpoint to the discord of our polarized world. So this is about the 31st death anniversary of Vaiko Muhammad Bashir. And there are a lot of interesting articles, opinion pieces about that. So from the viewpoint of just understanding who this gentleman was, with the viewpoint of just reading well-written articles, the entire feature page can be read. The next nation page has nothing of concern. The next nation page, okay. The big headline is just Muslims are the world's fastest growing religious group, says Pew. So Muslims emerged as the fastest growing religious group in the world over 2010 to 2020, while the share of Christians, the world's largest religious group in the global population, fell by 1.8 percentage points to 28.8%, a Pew Research Center analysis stated. Okay. I wouldn't read much into that other than just maybe a one liner on which is the fastest growing religious group or which is the largest religious group. Nothing more beyond that. We come to our favorite page, the middle opinion pieces. Okay, the top one is by Raghuram Rajan, professor at University of Chicago, but governor of the RBI, ex-governor of the RBI. Save us from our champions. Okay, it reads, India doesn't have brands and products that dominate globally because firms have been coddled. Lowering import barriers and innovating is the only way we can become rich before we become old. So a critical view given by a person who has obviously been through the highest corridors of powers, who has seen the country's economy definitely and even the world economy at a rather high level. So I would definitely recommend business, economics, finance interested students to go through this one. Below that is an article by Paromita Vora, who is the founder of Agents of Ishq. Men are afraid to date. Is manliness to blame? They still don't like showing vulnerability, thinking that taking control is what attracts women. Puff piece, but maybe a little bit of interesting to young students who are at that particular age. Uh, the left three columns, one, they all say cut. Movies caught between censors, government, and courts. Next, name theory. Ferrero buying Kellogg isn't just a business story. Third, why 100% proof is an illusion. In chasing full explanations, people disengage with truth. Okay. The third one of people disengaging with truth could be interesting, thought-provoking piece. The first two. The first one is obviously motivated by the recent High Court judgment on the Udaipur files. And below that, obviously, the major news in business that we saw yesterday, I think, about Ferrero taking over Kellogg's business. Okay. Next, the Nation page doesn't seem to be very interesting with relevant news. The business page, silver hits record high amid supply woes and trade tensions. Rural India shops brands, urban goes beyond labels. IT relief, gross direct tax mop up growth moderates. Surge in UPI payments, reduced cash usage, says IMF. Tesla's first India showroom opens next week. Government offers up to 9.6 lakh rupees SOPs on electric truck purchase. Proposal to do away with 12% GST rate slab on table. Okay, a lot of interesting news in this one page today, in fact. So for those interested in the world of finance and business, those going in for management studies, I would very strongly recommend read today's business page from the newspaper. Moving on to sports updates on the India-England Test cricket match happening. The entire page devoted to articles related to cricket. And the last page on sports related to tennis with obviously the Wimbledon happening. So interesting news reads for people in sports in both cricket and tennis. Okay. So today's newspaper did not have much new news, but a lot of updates on issues currently happening since the past 3 to 4 weeks. Great reads in for business management aspirants, great articles for opinions and language. So this is me, Satya, bringing today's session to an end. If you have liked this video, do hit that like button, share it with your friends, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already done so. Leave a comment in case you want to mention something or would like to see some new things being discussed. Wish you all the very best.